athletes and fans of bodybuilding. Terrick Guindy with the Mr. Olympia. Today we have a new men's physique Mr. Olympia. His name is Erin Banks. He conquers the title on a great battle against former champion Brandon Hendrickson. How are you, Erin Banks?
I'm great. How's everybody else?
Feeling great, bro.
Everybody's good. Everybody's good. There is some tension, but we are going to dissect that tension by introducing possibly your next rival on stage at the 2023 Mr. Olympia. He actually brought his 4 titles in the back to remind you. He has 3 more than you. He is the 4-time men's physique champion, Jeremy Buendia.
What's going on, you guys? How's everybody doing today?
Great.
It was good to see everybody. It's good to see everybody in Vegas a few weeks ago.
It was good seeing you. It's been a long time.
It has been.
And Jeremy looked jacked. I looked at Jeremy. We were walking. He looked jacked. It looked like he's ready for the 2023 Mr. Olympia. Also with us, the coach of Erin Banks. He's from Team Cutz. He's making lots and lots of money right now. He's got about 700 clients worldwide. Ariel Alberto from Team Cutz. How are you?
What's up? I'm good.
Don't be shy, Ariel. You're going to have to defend yourself on this live against the guys that are next to you. Flex Wheeler, he is the Sultan of Symmetry. He's the star of Olympia TV. Jake Wood got so many messages that his interviews were better than mine that my job is at risk right now. Flex, how are you?
Lies, lies, lies. Those Brazilians are great at lying.
And with us, the voice of bodybuilder, the 2000 Mr. USA's athletes representative. He is an icon worldwide, Bob Ciccarillo.
What's up, boys?
What's up,
What's going on,
Chicky?
Bob?
What's up?
So my question is to you, Erin Banks. You are now the best men's physique competitor in the world. We did a live about 3 months ago, and I asked you, do you have any strategy about, changing anything? And you looked in the camera and you said, I'm not doing anything different. I'm bringing the same package that I brought to Boston, and I'm winning the show. Is that easy? And a lot of people criticize you, but I guess it did happen the way you predicted.
Yeah, man. I mean, one thing about me is I manifest things my way. I set goals and I try to make sure I accomplish every single goal. I put out there that I wanted to be the best rookie. I think I became that. I told myself I wanted to win 2021's Olympia. I also placed second at that. And then going into 2022, my goals were just to simply win the Arnold and win the Olympia in the same year. And I accomplished that.
Hey, Ariel, talk to me about working with Erin Banks. How did you guys get together? Is he as crazy as he sounds?
Not at all. I mean, we linked up back in 2020 COVID year. And man, when I started with him, he was so out of shape. Like you wouldn't even think he competed. He was that bad. But I knew what he was capable of, and yeah, he's real easy to work with. He's super coachable.
All right. Flex, you look at these guys right now. One time I had a conversation with your friend, Don Long, national champion. Don Long said, Terrick, we all started as men's physique competitors. Myself, Flex, we were all men's physique competitors, and we developed into classic physique, and eventually we developed into bodybuilders. All these guys are bodybuilders. They're developing muscle just like us. What do you think about the men's physique division? These guys, they come in shredded.
Yeah, definitely. They come in extremely great condition, and it's really wild to see them carry some of the load of the condition they do compared to bodybuilders. But you're right. They lift weights. They do exactly what we do. Exactly what I used to do in the open men's competition. But it's a new world. I'm excited for all the classes now that the Olympia have, because it gives people like EB an opportunity to walk on stage, where back in my old time, the only opportunity you had is competing in the boys, with the big boys. So I think it opens the door for a lot of guys who would never be able to compete at that level, be able to walk on Olympia stage, which is like the Super Bowl of our sport, right?
Absolutely.
Yes. Bob, talk to me about Brandon Hendrickson versus Erin Banks. You're there on stage with them. You got a chance to look at them at prejudging, and you got a chance to look at them at the finals. Last year, they were the both men standing last, and this time they flip-flopped. What do you think about these guys? Is that a real rivalry between them, or you think Erin has now surpassed Brandon for good?
Well, what you had was you had the number one contender and Aaron, who earned that right via his win at the Arnold earlier in the year. Then, of course, you've got Brandon Hendrickson, who was the incumbent, the champ, and a multi-time champ at that. So this was really heading up to be a great competition at the Olympia, and these guys delivered. Both of them excellent shape. I talked to Aaron a little bit after his victory, and I told him, I says, it's got to be the Sunday seminar, as it would be. It's got to be very satisfying that you not only beat the champ, but I actually personally thought this is the best version of Brandon Hendrickson that I've seen. It's not like he let down. He didn't come in off or any of that type of stuff. Erin Banks simply just presented a package that the judges thought was a little bit better than Brandon. It had to be a close competition. I didn't see the score sheets, but it has to be really satisfying to know that you beat a guy at his best. So I could see these guys going at it for the next couple of years, depending on anybody else jumping in there, of course.
Jeremy, what did you think of Erin Banks at the 2022 Mr. Olympia?
No, he looked incredible on stage. He won for a reason. It was really close between him and Brandon. It was close. I don't think nobody smoked anybody on stage. I think it was really close. I think it came down to what I heard from some feedback I heard from judges. I think I talked to you after the show, Terrick. You said that Brandon looked a little watery in the lower back, or his skin was folding a little bit. That could have came down to his posing. Like when he was posing on stage and he was like rolling through, hitting his back pose, he looked sharp. He looked dry. He was peeled. Both guys. Aaron, you looked great on stage, bro. I'm not taking anything away from you. I haven't said anything bad. You looked sharp on stage.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Well, a lot of people mention that Brandon Hendrickson might be too big for men's physique, and that's a big misconception, and I'm going to resolve this once and for all. There's a little bit of Phil Heath, Flex Wheeler in Brandon Hendrickson, in which his muscle bellies are very round, and if you get close to him, he's not any bigger than any other men's physique. Due to his great genetics, he looks, rounder, and he gives the impression that he's bigger than what he is. That's just his genetic gift. Now, with that being said, Brandon from the front is formidable. From the back, he has a tendency sometimes to just hold a little bit of water. If he doesn't hold any water from the back, then it's very hard to beat him. But I think at this Mr. Olympia, especially in the finals, I think he held a little bit of water. And Erin Banks' strength is his back. His back is possibly one of the best backs in the history of the men's physique. And then from the front, I thought that Erin Banks kind of filled up the chest, so he looked a little bit more filled up. And that was able to kind of close the gap on Brandon Hendrickson. A lot of times people need to take in consideration, you're judging two poses, okay? You're judging the front and you're judging the back. And judges have a job to do. Who wins the front pose? And then who wins the back pose? And then we look at the difference of how much you won the front pose versus how much you lost the back pose. And after this conclusion, we came to the conclusion that Erin Banks was the better bodybuilder on the night, on the weekend. So I think it's very close, but I think Brandon will be back, and he's an amazing competitor, and he could make some noise for years to come. The question is, Jeremy, are you coming back in 2023?
Yeah, I have every intention of coming back and competing in 2023. If my body allows me to do it, and I stay healthy, and I don't have any injuries that occur, I'm putting full force into coming after my title in 2023.
Now, Bob, when this guy, Jeremy Buendia, stepped on stage, the word was the eyes are just drawn to his physique. And you said his name 4 times. What do you think about this guy, Erin Banks in 2023?
Well, listen, Jeremy was a great champion, and he's going to come back as a great champion. That doesn't happen by accident. He literally formed what the current look is, what I would consider the current look of who's winning today. Okay, and he did that with 4 solid Olympia victories. So this is going to be interesting to see. Hopefully, I wish you the best, Jeremy, in your training. Hopefully, stay healthy, brother, and I'd love to see you come back. It's not an easy task to do. You've been off the stage for what, Jeremy? 4 or 5 years?
It'll be 5 years in 2023.
5 years. So listen, this is not an easy task. And Flex will be the first one to tell you, as he has come back on stage, and although in a different form, it is not easy getting back to the Olympia level of competition in any respect. I don't care what division that you're in. So, but this poses trouble. Listen, you can never discount a guy who's won the Olympia 4 times. You got to give him that respect. I know these guys will, but Jeremy has a way of commanding attention when he's on that stage. Again, this didn't happen by accident. He's a master poser. Listen, he loves to yuck it up with the guys when they're on stage. When those backs turn around, boy, those lips start moving around. And it's kind of fun from my angle to see this stuff unveil itself. But like I say, Flex will tell you firsthand, not an easy task getting back to the Olympia level.
No, I'm well aware of that. It's been 5 years. The division's evolved. The guys have gotten bigger. But you guys also understand that I won my first title at 23. My last show, I was 27 years old. So I finished young, and I'm only 32. I'm not sure, Brandon or Erin, you're what, 31, 30?
I'm 34. Yep.
You're 34. You're still 2 years younger, 2 years older than me. My body is still reaching its potential, and I'm going to come back a much better athlete than I was. You guys can't expect to see me the same Jeremy Buendia in 2017, 18, because my body's more mature. I've gotten bigger, but my off season, I'm up 25 pounds to what I used to be in my off season. And, I still have a lot of time to grow. There's going to be a lot of work and to get back to a place where I'm going to be competitive with Erin and Brandon and those guys. But the improvements I've made in the past year have definitely given me the confidence that I'm still growing and still getting better, and my potential still hasn't been reached yet. And I believe, my physique and my shape that I have, that plus 15 pounds, 20 pounds on stage is going to be really hard to beat. Despite the size difference between me and Erin, it's going to come down to, the conditioning and shape, and that's where I think I can beat him, is just flow of physique.
Erin, he's basically saying his physique flows better than yours. In order for you to beat Jeremy, all you have to do is bring what you in Boston.
Man, the main thing I'm doing is focusing on one goal at a time. We got this Arnold coming up in March, and then eventually, when we get to that point, and if his name is on that list, we'll have to see then. But as of right now, my main focus is just defending my Arnold title and continuing doing what I do.
Hey, Ariel. So basically, Jeremy Buendia, 4-time Mr. Olympia men's physique, is saying, if I'm on point, my conditioning is on point, my shape will carry over Erin Banks. Do you have a different strategy against Jeremy that you had against Brendan?
Well, I have a lot of respect for Jeremy. I mean, he's a 4-time champion for a reason. I go back with Jeremy. I've known him since 2011, and we're cool. And in order for us to beat him, we haven't even maxed out yet. Erin can still improve. So what you saw this year is going to be better next. It's going to be better next year. I don't doubt that at all. He will be better. He's only been doing this for like 2 years. So imagine the muscle maturity that's going to come. He's tall, so he's still going to fill out more of his frame, so he's only going to get better.
Hey, Flex, this guy, Erin Banks, he's a little bit of a trash talker, and he did talk some trash before the Olympia, but he really, he backed it up. Incredible enough, he backed it up. He said, I'm going to beat Brandon Hendrickson and everybody else. I just have to do what I brought to Boston. And it turned out that this guy was right. What do you think about this? Is this arrogance? Is this confidence? Do you have to have this mindset to be at the top of the game? What do you think about this?
I think it's a preference. Some people are just like that. First and foremost, you can't call it trash talk when a person backs it up. You can almost say it was a prediction, right? So that's different than trash talking. I think the trash talking that we've seen at the men's Olympia, what was it, the meet and greet, that was trash talk, because the majority of everybody who was up there trash talking did horribly bad. Then it's trash, right? Everyone up there that was opening their mouth, all that talk was trash. And also, I'll echo what you said, a taller man. It's true. I've always said it, right? It's a harder job to beat a two-story house than it is a one-story house. So, I see it being a great battle. What I see the most is it's going to be fun, because you're having previous champions come back and compete. And it's great when you can't make a solid prediction that, many Olympias that we've done before, we could already tell who was going to win. So this makes it really, really competitive. I think it also opens the door up to let other athletes in that category know that if they're good enough, they can win. It doesn't matter if you're a 10-time or multi-time champion on stage. The best man should win, and that's the way it should be.
Bob, I got to give you a lot of credit. For that matter, guys, I'd like to communicate to all four of you and everybody else who's on this live that Bob Cicherillo, out of all the people that I have done lives, Bob Cicherillo was the only person who predicted that Hadi Choopan was going to win the Mr. Olympia. So, guys, this man knows his stuff. Knowing that, let's give a pause because we have some Ramon Dino fans right here. Okay. If you want to gain followers on Instagram, just say something nice about Ramon. And if you want to delete your Instagram account, just go ahead and say something negative about Ramon. Okay.
We're not even talking about the same division they're throwing us dinosaurs. Come on, man.
So, those are the
Man.
most
The
loyal
Brazilians are
fans.
passionate.
They
Damn.
go hard. They go hard in the paint. Seriously.
Listen, my question is to Jeremy. So, Jeremy, you're a different guy than you were 5 years ago. Okay, now we all saw the brash, shit talking, champ, 4-time, very hard to beat, very tough on stage. But now it's been 5 years. My question is, now you're married, you got the kid, right? You got the house, you got the 2.1 cars and the picket fence. My question is much like Rocky 3. Has Jeremy Buendia been domesticated?
Yeah, man. I'm my life's completely different than it was 4 or 5 years ago.
Do you still have the eye of the tiger, my friend? That's the question.
Yeah, no, 100%. And having a family, having my daughter, it's definitely added fuel to the fire and giving me an extra source of motivation. And I've always, since she's been born, I've had a dream to lift her up on stage after I win. And I've had it's unfinished business. I've always had my mind set on 5. And walking away that way I walked away from the stage in 2018 isn't necessarily the way I wanted to walk away, especially with the things that unfolded afterwards in my personal life. It left a sour taste in a lot of people's mouth, including my own. And, I feel that I am a much better person, better man now. And coming back to the sport, I have a lot more to offer and to be a strong ambassador. I still have a lot of fans in the sport. A lot of people look up to me, and travel around the world this past year really opened my eyes to that. And I can't just throw away something I've worked so hard for in my 20s. I'm not done with this industry. I'm not done with this sport. I still love it. I'm still passionate about it, and I feel I have a lot to offer. And I'm just really grateful to be back up in the position I am in right now, to be on this live interview with you guys, to be talking about me competing again, because it was only like 12 months ago people were just saying I was done forever, saying I would never put the size on, saying I'd never be competitive again, saying I was done. And it's about proving people wrong. It's about proving to yourself that you're worth and what you're capable of. Similar to the way Aaron was leading up into Olympia, he had a lot of people doubting him, and it sparks a fire within you to prove that you're worthy of everything that you believe you are. And that's something that I've reinstilled in myself the past year and a half, 2 years since my daughter's been around, is trying to be the man I need to be, something that she can look up to and be proud of as her father. And
I'm sorry.
was that?
I'm sorry. Go ahead and go. No. Continue.
No, I'm just saying it's just, it's a different source of motivation. I'm not going to be running around trying to badmouth anybody because we're all doing this. We're all chasing the same thing. We're putting in the effort every single day. We're making the same sacrifices, and the sport's not easy, and it can take the life out of you, and it can, it takes away from the people that you love because of the sacrifices we have to make. And, it's a grind, and I have respect for everybody that steps on Olympia stage because it's a journey to get there. It's a battle to get there.
Jeremy, I want to commend you. It takes a real champion. I've always felt that a champion is a champion through adversity. When you're winning and everything's being thrown at you, you're happy. But a champion, I think, is built through going through adversity. And I appreciate the private conversation we had downstairs before you went up. EB, my question is to you. So, as Jeremy said, you never got any respect. I think I actually watched a live. Was it about 6 or 7 months ago when they were saying, you'd never do good. You got to build your upper chest. Me and you hooked up. We did some things. But what do you think now? What do you have to say to all these naysayers?
Good answer.
There's nothing really too much to say. Again, I've said what I was going to say. My goals are my goals. My manifestations are mine. I'm going to continue to do what I do. I'm going to continue to grind. Again, my foot is still on the pedal. So there's no way I'm letting up. Again, like I said, I have the Arnold 2023 to defend, and we're going to continue from there. But with the naysayers, I mean, and new. That's the only thing I have to say. That's all I have to say.
Hey, Erin, after Bob Cicherillo announced iconically and new, you were kind of sideways before they announced it. You were kind of sideways, like sizing up Brandon or sizing up Diogo. You had your hands behind your body. What was going on with you? And don't block me, okay? Because I make the tough questions. If you block me, I'll drive up to Fresno, and you have to face me.
Don't. Hey, be careful, bro. He's blocking everybody. I'm still trying to wonder what I did to hurt your feelings, E, because I got blocked. I don't even know what I said.
Listen, this is the deal with when I was standing sideways, because obviously it's something, a question that's been asked multiple times. So my thing was, when Bob brings us to the middle, correct? We come to the middle. Brandon decided to step in the winner's circle. So therefore, I stepped back because I knew how hard I worked for this damn title. So therefore, I stood and looked at Bob. Yeah. Please call my name. Now scoot over. Thank you. This is mine. Simple as that.
Did you actually block Jeremy?
Man, I blocked so many people that, man, my thing is
what hurt your feelings, bro? I wasn't. What hurt your feelings about me? What did I do to get blocked? I'm just curious. I'm not upset. I'm just curious, because I
just don't need negativity around my circle.
Man. Nobody is dishing any negativity. I'm the guy that's coming after your title, so you just block me for the hell of it. You're gonna have a lot of dudes. Now that you have the weight of the crowd, you got to carry, bro. You got to understand this. No, listen. Just listen to me for a second, bro. Hey, I'm not coming at you. I'm just giving you some advice because I've done this before, bro. I understand. As a champion, bro, you're gonna have naysayers. You're gonna have people that are gonna be critiquing you all the time and talking a lot of shit and saying things. Part of being a champion is being able to handle those things. How are you you're just gonna block everybody? I mean, your industry is gonna get real small real quick for you if you keep doing that. I mean, I'm just trying to understand why you're just blocking everybody with no reason. Like, what's the point? Is it insecurity? Is it your way of saying, keeping yourself focused? I'm just curious.
I'm just getting ready for this Arnold to defend my Arnold, and that's what I'm doing. Simple as that. It is what it is. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. EB gonna do what EB do.
I don't care, really. I was curious because usually when somebody blocks somebody, it's because something was done wrong. I don't block anybody just for the hell of it.
I'm enjoying my popcorn.
This is an honest question though, because I never said anything bad to you. Like, actually, I was always, even last Olympia, I was in your DM telling you, good luck and shit, and then things went south when you started saying I was irrelevant. But I'm just curious, like, what I did to make you why you blocked me. Is it because you don't want to see my prep? Is it because you don't want to see your competition? I'm just curious.
As of right now, I'm focused on the Arnold Classic 2023, March 2nd through the 4th. Make sure you guys be there. I'm excited to continue to do what I do. And we'll see you guys at Mr. Olympia 2023 in November.
I mean, that's a great PC answer, Aaron. But I got to be honest, Jeremy does bring up a good point, which is he doesn't really come at you. Listen, this is a different Jeremy Buendia than most people I think remember. I mean, he's matured. Obviously, he's very comfortable in his own skin. I think Jeremy, you'd be the first to agree. You know, you're kind of a loose cannon some years back when you were a young guy coming up.
I loved it, Bob. I loved when he was crazy.
Yeah,
he
listen.
Was the freaking Conor McGregor of. He made the men's physique more popular than anything because he was the Conor McGregor.
Well,
One time he wanted to fight Kimoto. Kimoto's 127
No.
years old.
Nobody fights Kimoto. Come on, man.
Kimoto's 127 years old.
See how stories get twisted, man?
I'm going to say that's complete bull. Nobody fights Kimoto. That's got to be bullshit.
I actually had a really nice conversation with Kim at Olympia. We ran into him at the expo, and we had a really nice conversation. I've known Kim a long time.
Andre Ferguson just texted me and said, "Why did he block me?" I don't understand why he blocked me. Can you ask him, Terrick? Anyways.
Let's hang on a second, because I don't want this to go away here. I want a good, legitimate dialogue here. I think Jeremy's been very respectful of you, Aaron, and all that. Doesn't sound like he's been talking trash or negativity, but why would you not unblock him to open up some dialogue with two great champions who could possibly be facing each other? I mean, we're all gentlemen here, right? Everybody's professional.
Absolutely.
It's also good. It's good for this. It's good for the sport, bro.
My main thing is focusing on EB. EB is doing what EB is doing right now. Unfortunately, this is my space, and I don't need to have anybody invade it. I'm just doing me. If you don't like it, like I said,
it sounds like it's easy to get in your head.
Not really, because obviously I just won and said what I just said.
No, you did, but it's all right. It's
exactly.
Cool. Wow.
Well,
Terrick, you getting your wish?
These guys, and that's a question to you, Flex. Michael Jordan, and I defended Erin Banks because he talked trash, but a lot of people criticized him. And I told Erin, I said, Erin, don't hold back, because Michael Jordan did the same thing. He created enemies in his mind so that he could improve his performance. Some of the greatest champions, Mike Tyson, Royce Gracie, they created a narrative of pure hatred against their opponents, and that triggered them to work out even harder. Now, in your time in the 90s, did you have that same hatred in the gym, not outside of the gym, for your competitors? Like Sean Ray, we know he hated Dorian Yates. Did you have anybody that you said, I'm going to destroy him on stage, I just don't like him?
Who is that question to?
That's to you, champ.
Oh, me?
Eric? Yeah, EB.
No, that's to you, Flex.
You, Flex. Did you dislike anybody in your career?
No, I never had it in for anyone. I wanted to beat everybody. I wanted to embarrass them. It's like from my fight background, when I fought, I don't want to just win. I want to make them bend over and yield. So I didn't do that. Sean and quite a few other people would always batten off me like that. But kind of like what Jeremy said, I just had an understanding. Listen, I came from nothing. I came from no money. And here's an opportunity for me to be able to take care of myself and my family. And I looked at every other competitor equally like that. So when someone said something negative about me, I took it as, hey, we'll handle it on stage. We are both men, right? If you want to do some other stuff, you know where I live. But if it's just talk, which most of it is with these guys, they're trying to pay their bills. They're trying to better themselves. Why would me personally, right? Why would I look at another man and be upset with him because he's trying to achieve the same thing that I am? I think a champion goes and handles this stuff on the stage. All this small talk and everything, rap, every sport has got someone physically hurt over that stuff. So I just always had respect. And if I came at somebody, they knew that I was really coming after them for a personal reason and it had nothing to do on stage. But I just never believed in that. Why look at another man downward or downplay him because he's trying to achieve the same thing I am? It's like two men going for the same woman, right? I'm sure that's happened to all you guys. Both of you shooting your game. And I've always found it interesting, the guy who will talk shit about you. In my sense, he just showed her that he ain't worthy. You have to, so let the talk be the talk, but I just never got involved in it. I don't get it. I take it actually really, really personal when someone comes after me and says something. I'm not the guy. I got that Fresno in me.
Ariel, my question to you is this. Do you coach them mentally or just physically? If you have guys that are outspoken like Erin Banks, and you have guys who are a little bit quieter. Do you advise them also psychologically and how to deal with pressure, how to deal with competition?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, with all my guys, we all have talks, and I try and see what they think about certain things, and I tell them my input. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to change somebody if it's their personality, if it's their way of handling certain things. That's them, and I support them. And as far as Aaron, like, he just likes staying in his own circle. He doesn't want anybody interfering with him. He blocks the noise, he blocks all that stuff, and he focuses on him. And look where he's gotten him. I mean, he's gotten a lot of wins in a short amount of time. So that's just how he does it. I support him, and he just blocks the haters. That's what it is.
Or people
Terrick,
in general, or me, just for.
I'm letting you know, Aaron, you can block whoever you want. If you try to block me, I'm driving up the 5 North. I don't take this lightly.
It's the 99. You'll be going down to 99, not the 5.
He might hit the 5 and cross over.
Will you take action if he blocks you?
Well, listen, no reason to block me. I just announced the names, but if he wants another intro like that, I mean, you got to be my buddy. But I got to be honest, brother. This is a bad strategy on your part. I'm just kind of keeping it real here. Jeremy's come out as a gentleman, a professional. He's giving you props, right? All that. Your answer is you want to stay in your lane. You don't really want to deal with them and all that. All you just did was give this guy all the motivation. This is not the same Jeremy as years ago. You would have wanted to fight you, kick your ass. This is a different guy. All he's doing now is using this as motivate. You have motivated this man to now go out there, train his balls off, try to get that number 5 into his pocket and take it away from you. And he's going to do it with a smile on his face. I don't know. I just think you should have just told him, hey, man, great champion. Appreciate you, bro. That's cool. Hey, I'll unblock you. We can have, say hey every once in a while. I don't know, man. I don't like the strategy, bro.
You know what, Bob? I think even though we don't see it because we're not that type of people, right? Like Sean would always give me a hard time, talk crap, this, that, and other. I think some people has to hype themselves up internally to be able to go out and put that fight out. They got to have like some type of war. And I think people now make battles when it's not really one. And that's the way they amp themselves up. They probably don't mean it really personally, but that's how they get their balls on fire. Me,
yeah, but he just handed it to Jeremy by blocking him, by not engaging with him or not respecting him, so to say. I think he lit a fire into Jeremy's ass even more.
Right. I don't think it's the best strategy in the world for him. But what I do respect, everyone has their way of approaching something, right? So as a man, you have to accept that's just the way they want to get down. Just have somebody who's quiet, like Jeremy is now. That's itself. I want to ask Jeremy, when you were younger and we had a little conversation and everything, and you had did some things and said some things and blah, blah, blah. Do you see that person now in EB as an elder now or no? Because you were once that guy that talked that talk, right? So you're different now, you're older now. Do you see a younger version in EB of doing that? Do you think it's necessary?
I don't know. I'm blocked. I can't see really anything he's saying. No, but from a realistic perspective, like his mentality of kind of making enemies with everybody, like I understand that because that's kind of similar to the way I went about things as well in my earlier years. Like when I was competing against Sadiq, I hated Sadiq, and now me and Sadiq are cool. It was never anything really personal. It was just that I created that narrative in myself, like we were talking about, like you guys were just mentioning, to feel myself. And if that's what it takes for him to work at his highest level, then let him do that because he's going to perform better. But as you get older, as I've gotten older, as I've matured, I've realized that's not the only way of doing it. And you can source your motivation from other places. And, I'm competing for different reasons now, not necessarily to hate it on people or hate anybody. I don't remove that hate from my heart because it's not a healthy way to live. And it makes prep kind of miserable because you're always on your toes and always feeling defensive. And, it's to each their own, however they want to go about doing it. My best advice, like I said, is understanding that, this is a business too. Like being the Olympia champion, you have to be, an ambassador to the division and representing it well. And, also being able to brand yourself. And when you're cutting people off and cutting off people that you can network with within the industry, that's going to limit yourself, especially in the future. Because I still haven't figured out how to unblock people. I don't know if Instagram made it a way easy to do that, but once you block somebody, I feel like they're gone. And, I've made the mistakes of blocking people in the past because they said something to me, and, that has been old news. And, I've wanted to reach out and it's not possible. Your career is just a lot longer than what it's going to be on the stage for you if you want it to be. And that's only going to be dependent on the relationships that you create during the time that you're part of it. You can take it from me. Like I sabotaged a lot of things at the end of my reign, and it ruined a lot of things for me. And I've had to rebuild relationships. And this past Olympia, like it was nerve wracking for me because I had to go back out there and talk to a lot of people, say some apologies, shake some hands, and get things square with people for the mistakes I made in the past. And as a champion, bro, like you just want to make sure you're holding your head held high and you're not letting anybody say anything bad about you because you're living under a microscope now. Everybody's eyes are on you because you're the guy to beat. And, you got to be careful with everything that you're doing because it's just part of being the champion. So I say that as a fellow champion to you, bro, like that's what you got to do. Keep your head up.
Well, it's interesting because we live in an industry right now where people are going to scrutinize all the top guys. And I use Chris Bumstead as an example. Chris Bumstead makes a lot of money with his social media, with his videos, his YouTube, and I think he's able to engage millions of people every day through his social media. And my question to you, Bob, is the game has changed. I was the magazine guy. To me, it took me 3 months to read a Flex magazine when I was in Brazil. And then I came to the United States. There was that rivalry between Flex and Muscular Development. But there was no engagement with the actual fan. Right now, these guys, their job is to engage with the fans so that they can make more money. What would be your strategy if you were competing right now?
Well, these guys got a great opportunity. Like me and Flex were talking about, we didn't have this back in the day. At best, your arguments and rivalries and all that was through the magazines. And that's, the best you had, which of course would come out months from now. And, there was obviously some internet that did come with the boards and things like that, places like Get Big and all these other places everybody would go to argue and throw shit out there. But today you have your own platforms. Everybody's got an IG. Everybody's got various forms of the internet that they can go to and build their own fan base. Now, this is a great thing for all athletes because you can literally put your own brand out there. And if you do it correctly, like a Bumstead, like a Regan Grimes, like a Eurishna Yayala, they've all got
please
fantastic.
mention Ramon Dino's name.
Well,
please.
I was just going there, and especially like Ramon Dino. Huh? Give me some healthy dinosaurs now, people, okay? All right. But listen, these guys have done a fantastic job of putting their own career out there. And these guys, even though they obviously are seeing things differently here, they can both do things in their own respect. Jeremy's going to come out as a past 4-time champ. And he's going to rally those troops and his fan base who think he's going to come back, kick everybody's ass, get number 5, reclaim what's him. And Erin obviously is the new champ. Well, he wants to keep that momentum going, and he wants to hear 2 different words this time, which is and still. So both these guys can do things in their own respect for their own fan base, and they can sell their merchandise, and they can direct people to their YouTube channels and put out videos. And I'm sure both these guys will have stuff that they're going to be putting out en route. Erin getting ready for the Arnold, and Jeremy obviously making his big comeback. The one thing Erin's has got to be sure of is that what you don't want to do is go to the Arnold and lose the momentum of being the Olympia champ. So this is a little bit risky, but hey, he's the best in the world right now. And, come what may. I mean, listen, there's still good competition. I don't know if Brandon Hendrickson's going in. I don't know if any of the other top guys are going to be on that stage. But right now, Erin's the guy to beat. and he's willing to put that on the line. I applaud that. I think that's pretty cool. So listen, the world's your oyster out there these days, man. These athletes have a great opportunity that we didn't have to get to millions and millions of people all on their own platform.
Hey, Erin, my question to you is, a lot of guys that win the Mr. Olympia, they tend to take the year off and compete again at the Mr. Olympia the following year. You're deciding to defend your title at the Arnold. Is that a strategy that you're going to follow if you continue to win the Olympia, to compete at the Arnold as well? Or is this a year-by-year decision?
I kind of talked, me and Ariel, we've talked, and kind of like our main two shows every year will probably be the Arnold and the Olympia. Again, you got to understand, I come from a athletic background, 3-sport athlete. I'm here to compete, and that's what I'm here to do. So defending the title at the Arnold, which is the second biggest show, that's what I'm going to do.
Hey, Ariel, talk to me about picking this guy for the show. What kind of physique is he? Is he, a very sensitive physique? Does his physique take a little bit longer to change? What kind of physique is Erin Banks?
I mean, to be honest, he doesn't need to do anything crazy. Like, he doesn't need a lot of food to carb up. To be honest, like, he probably had maybe 400 to 500 grams of carbs the day before a show, and that fills him up. That gets him just right, I mean, at the Arnold, we tested a few things. We came in with a fuller look, and then obviously it wasn't his most peeled look. And then we went to the Boston show, and that was the look that the judges wanted. And so whatever we did there, that's what we did at the Olympia. I mean, obviously I tweaked a few things here and there, but I mean, it doesn't take a lot to peak him. He's really easy.
That's good. That's interesting. I haven't eaten 500 grams of carbs since I was 2 years old. Flex, this guy is your Fresno guy. Do you believe he retains the title in 2023, regardless if Jeremy Buendia, Brendan Henderson are there or not?
Yeah, we're both from Central California. I actually, for the first time, talked to him. I think I was leaving the Arnold or something, and I seen him in the airport, and we sit and we chat a little bit. And then we talked a little bit more and did some things here in Vegas. But you know what? I think the sky's the limit for him. It's all about matchups. I've always said that. It's all about matchups. So, when you have a person X amount heights taller than you, that means he can fill his frame out, which he can. I think he can probably fill his frame out at least 20 more pounds because of his height. That just makes it very difficult to beat a person. So it's all about matchups. But here's the problem. If you don't show up on shape, it don't matter, right? If you don't show up on stage, it doesn't matter. So I really, as we talked about before, I don't make predictions like that. Damn. I mean, everybody who made a prediction about the Olympia, we were all effing wrong, right?
No, you guys were all wrong.
Oh, right. Damn, you're right, Bob. Sorry
Bob picked Hadi to win the Olympia 6 months ago, Flex.
Wow, that's just amazing.
Bob Stradamus.
Since you're the man with the vision, since you are the Nostradamus of bodybuilding, is Erin Banks retaining his title at the 2023 Mr. Olympia, or do you think Brendan Henderson comes back to win, or you think the 4-time champion, iconic Jeremy Buendia, comes back to win the title? Who do you pick, Bob? Because we're going to play this after the 2023 Mr. Olympia.
All right, hit the record button, boys. All right, so here's the thing, all right? History, if I'm going with history, it's not kind to either one of these guys on here, okay? Because Erin, God bless you, like I say, champ, you deserved it, you earned it, it's your title right now. But we've seen so many different champions over the last 4 or 5 years. We've seen Brandon going back and forth. We used to laugh because you only used to be able to win it in even years, but, that's been broken. So we've had different champions over the last 5 years in men's physique. And for Jeremy, I mean, we haven't had a very good luck with ex-champs coming back and reclaiming the title. I don't know if the last time we've seen that. It's been some time and very difficult to do. So history doesn't dictate that either one of these guys are going to be in the winner's circle. It could be another and new at this year's Olympia.
next
Wow.
year.
So that's your prediction that we'll have a new one. It's not going to be Erin Banks. It's not going to be Jeremy. It's not going to be Brandon. It's going to be a new champion.
Well, it could be a Brandon. I mean, listen, he ain't exactly out. I mean, these guys had an epic battle on stage in which it was very, very close. So yeah, I wouldn't count Brandon out either. And there's a few other champs that we didn't see this year. Who was it that Brandon was going back and forth with there a couple years?
Well, but regardless what you said, what you're saying is there's not going to be instill. Erin, block his ass right now.
I'm just saying, if we're going with history, if we're going with what we've seen in the past, that's the bet.
What do you think, actually, personally, Bob? What do you think personally?
Well, personally, again, now this is different because we have seen where the judges do like a certain look. Although, again, Brandon was going back and forth. The other name escapes me.
Raymond.
These guys went back and forth, what, 3 years, 4 years? So, you'd like to say they like the incumbent champ, but we've seen that change over the past couple of years. So, listen, Erin certainly brings a formidable physique. But that is a very, very competitive. It's probably the most competitive in terms of very difficult to pick a winner because these guys are all bringing it from a Chiron Holden, to an Erin Banks. And it wouldn't shock me if Erin were to repeat. But we just saw a repeat champ, and then we just saw him beat. So it's a tough call.
Happen in a year. A lot can happen in a year.
I had the chance of judge the first NPC men's physique show. It was a long time ago. It was about 10 years ago. And I remember the first Olympia men's physique competition we had, Mark Anthony. I remember when Jeremy turned pro at the Junior Nationals. And then Erin Banks turned Junior USAs. And then Erin Banks turned pro at the USAs. And I'm going to say this. I give so much credit to the men's physique competitors. Their conditioning, they have done something amazing to the sport. It is the most popular category among NPC competitors. I go anywhere in the world, from Singapore to Romania, and you have triple the amount of men's physique competitors than you have in other categories. And I think these guys are doing a tremendous job. I'm a huge fan of the division, and I'm proud to sit there and watch these great champions. Talking about conditioning, these guys, I mean, if they have posing trunks, I think all of them would have striated glutes because their conditioning is unparalleled, man. I see their obliques, and a lot of times I don't see those deep obliques in bodybuilders. It's fantastic what these men's physique guys are doing. So I give them a lot of credit. I want to finish this live and give the last word to the two champs. Jeremy, what is your last word? What is going on in 2023? What is your word to the fans?
No, I just appreciate everybody's support. And, it's been it'll be 5 years I've been on stage, and I'm really looking forward to coming back. I'm going to be giving it my all. I know what it takes to become a champion, and I know that the ball's going to fall in my court of how the results are going to turn out in 2023. It's going to be up to, what I'm able to do in the preparations. I can't control what anybody else does. All I can control is myself and bringing my best. And, I'm just looking forward to getting back in the mix. And, if everything lines up in my favor, I'll be walking away the 5-time champ like I've always planned.
Erin Banks, you are the current men's physique Mr. Olympia. You have the final word of the live.
Well, this to Jeremy, man, hopefully I get to see your name on that list, man. And because at the end of the day, you are 4-time. So it would be, a great battle. I mean, between me, you, and Brandon, and whoever else is in that top 5. So power to you, man. And hope I do see your name on that list. And for myself, we're going to continue to work. We're going to work extremely hard. So, I mean, like I said, we got Jeremy coming back. We got Brandon. Of course, he's not going anywhere. So I still got to work. I can't sit down. I can't rest. So we're going to continue to do what we got to do. And to the fans out there, man, I appreciate everybody who's been rocking with me. Everyone who's kept their blessings for me, kept everything going. And man, thank you. So, yeah.
Very nice, very nice. My name is Terrick Guindy with the Mr. Olympia, the men's physique is turning out to be a huge battle in 2023. Erin Banks, Brandon Hendrickson, Jeremy Buendia, Diogo Montenegro, and then you have new guys coming up, Charjo Grant and Edivan Palmeira. All these guys will be back on stage in Orlando. We have here the Sultan of Symmetry, Flex Wheeler, with us. The best coach in the men's physique category. He's been winning everything. Ariel Cutz. The voice of bodybuilding, Bob Ciccarillo. 4-time men's physique Olympia, Jeremy Buendia. And the current men's physique Olympia, Erin Banks. My name is Terrick Guindy. We'll see you next Wednesday.
Ladies and gentlemen,